Hello YouTube, welcome to another video. I'm Duarte from Still Not A Millionaire, and before starting with the video I just wanted to remind you quickly that there's currently going a giveaway where you can win a free copy of this book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, which is a great book. I've already read it, and you can also find the review of it in my description in my channel. Okay, so this is an international giveaway, and feel free to join in this giveaway. I've already planned to offer you a lot of other content in the future, so stay tuned and make sure to subscribe, and so that you are aware of the future competitions I will make. But now going to what really matters. If you have been watching the news, you probably already know that there is some significant volatility in markets, because there is currently undergoing a sort of a fight between the professional investors, those large institutions and pension funds and hedge funds and so on, and the street investors, let's say the retail investors, where basically the strategy is these street traders are watching those heavily shorted stocks that, in other words, the institutional investors are betting that they will decrease in the future. They have a high bankruptcy probability, for example, and they are basically trying to go against these heavily shorted institutions, because as soon as price increases a bit, since these institutions have invested so much in the downgrade of these companies, even a slight price increase will demand that these institutional investors short edge a bit their strategy by acquiring or reducing their positions, this way adding buying pressure and driving price even upward. This is what's have been happening, for example, in AMC, that I've also talked about during the week. AMC, as you can see, had a significant increase, around 300% only in one day. It also connected sort of with the news that AMC was able to get around I don't know, 1 billion in new debt, but as we saw from our analysis, this is a lot of debt already, and the AMC isn't even able to pay the interest from its financing through operational profits, which basically in the end means that the company is still struggling a lot. The same is happening, for example, with GameStop, which is basically the primary company that led to this movement of that post of Wall Street bets against the institutional investors. Now, what I will tell you in a quick way is that how you can see which are the most heavily shorted stocks, and this way, if you want to try to profit from it. Okay, but nevertheless, I have to make a disclaimer here, because I don't think that this is a good strategy. At least, well, in the long term, you should forget it. If you are a value investor, long-term value investor, you should forget it and simply be off the market and watch how things will go. But if you want to try to catch up some of this volatility, and you can do it simply by using this site. For example, I think that there are probably other screens out there, but the one I use the most is Finviz. Okay, this is mostly for US stocks, I believe. I also think that probably they have other companies, but it's mostly for US stocks. So okay, as you can see here, we have Amex, Nasdaq, New York Stock Exchange, and probably others for paid versions of this software. Okay, but what I want to show you, the screen that you should use, is around here. Okay, you have a lot of screens. This website is great if you want to define a strategy based on some criteria. For example, even decide the sector you want to be in, or the average volume, the exchange target price, and so on. Okay, but what I want to focus today is this screen, that is float short. It's basically the floating shares are the shares that are being traded in the market. Okay, that contrasts with the outstanding shares. There are the total number of shares issued by a company. Okay, some of the shares issued by a company are held by strategic investors. Let's say there are investors who will not sell their shares, so these aren't traded. Float stocks, the float shares or shares floating are the total number of shares being traded in the market. Okay, and if you want to assess how those stocks that are being shorted the most, you can simply come here and define a significant percentage of shares or floating shares being shorted. For example, you can select here for the free version, it can go up to over 30%. Okay, but having these stocks, you can already see here AMC Entertainment, but this for now is still sorted in alphabetical order. If you want to sort it according to the float short, I think you need to go with technical or ownership. I think it's ownership, and you can see here float short. Simply press here, press again, and now you have a list of in descending order of the stocks that are mostly shorted, and also the percentage. Okay, as you can see, for example, GameStop is the number one company being shorted, and it is even in a higher percent, higher than 100%, meaning that investors are leveraging their positions. Okay, are really betting that this company will go bankrupt. Okay, but you have other companies that are already in the news. I think that is, for example, Bet and Beyond. Okay, as you can see, there is also a significant volatility in this price chart, and you would probably find also AMC and so on in the following pages. Okay, we have here AMC. I'm not recognizing other ticker symbols now. We have Nikola, for example, that is 36% shorted. Well, and the strategy is the same. Okay, they basically, these retail investors, people like you and me, are joining forces together and trying to fight the institutional investors, professional, let's say. Personally, I don't think that this is a good thing for markets, even though some people might say that, well, we are getting our fair share of the market gains and so on, but I think that things can get easily out of control and a lot of people will lose money. Okay, but this is the idea. If you want to bet in any of these companies, if you think that if you want to have a more value approach, a long-term approach, you might try also to see these companies that are heavily shorted and try to look at financials. Okay, and see if they have shown signs of progression or good perspectives of the future, because this can be in fact a good strategy for the long term. But well, this is the way you can see those stocks that are being mostly heavily traded in the downside, and if you want to bet on the upside, these might also be those with higher potential. Okay, I hope that you have enjoyed. I hope that you have learned how you can use not only this float short, but I also advise you to watch Finviz, because it's a great free platform that you can use if you want to trade in the US exchange. Okay, and leave in the comments below if you are betting and what's your thoughts on the current news on what's happening in the markets. I hope that you have enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time.